Hello.
Hi.
Hi, it's time for boring stuff.
Yay, sleeper volumes. Woo-woo. All right, so I'm going to do my best to explain everything.
Yeah, it might not be the way that other people do it. This is the way we do it.
Yeah. So
Or you do it, basically.
Yeah. First off, go hit escape when you're in the prefab editor and make sure you're showing your sleeper volumes and your sleeper x-ray. That's all those pink guys right there. Then you hit F6. That will actually bring up where you can drop zombies in or whatever else. But down at the bottom, you hit sleeper volume. And then it creates that pretty little box that you see.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Now, granted, I wasn't pointed in the right place. That's why it's down.
Yeah.
Like,
basically,
wherever you're looking is where it'll pop the sleeper volume box in. So keep that in mind.
Just like when you bring zombies in.
Yeah. To move the box, it's pretty simple. You just hit G. I accidentally was making it bigger. Yeah, there you go. Hit G and then use the arrows and take it wherever you need to go. I started at the top of the mall because that's easier.
Yeah.
Just generally there's a lot of levels and I don't need to get myself confused, which is what will happen. Yeah. Okay, so as you can tell, like those things that are pink are your essential sleeper zombies, right? So if you go to the creative menu, you just type in sleeper and it'll bring up a variety of them. Like some of them, one says like crawler only. They have them standing up, sitting down, laying on one side, laying on their back, blah, blah, blah. So you can pick whatever one you want to put. It doesn't matter.
Right.
That's entirely up to you. So obviously, before you even get to the sleeper volume box part, you want to make sure you have all your zombies placed. To configure your sleeper volume, on the right-hand side, you'll see sleeper count. That means I have 5 sleeper zombies in this box right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a preset count of like 6 to 7. So that'll mean that when somebody hits that box going through the mall, it's going to spawn in anywhere from 6 to 7 zombies.
Yep.
Okay? So you want to make sure that you're paying attention to what's on the right of like how many sleeper volume zombies you actually have, and then what you want that preset to be. Because it only goes 9 to 10, right? So you click on sleeper volume. I've added a new box, right? I'm going to shift it. I'm going to move it. Shift G is how you make the box bigger. So you can make it longer, you can make it taller, shorter, any of that kind of stuff. Technically, you want your sleeper volume boxes to be right next to each other, like kind of butted up against each other, but not super overlapping, because if you overlap 2 sleeper volume boxes that are like 10 zombies a piece, that's going to be 20 that are going to potentially activate all at the same time.
Yeah, right.
Depending on where you hit that box. So you kind of want to butt them up against each other. So this one I have a sleeper count of 11, as you can see on the left or the right, and I set it to 9 to 10. Another thing that you want to pay attention to when you hit K to configure your sleeper volume box is it'll add, like up in the middle, you'll have 3 choices. One is passive, one is active, and one is attack. That's essentially what it's telling your zombies to do. If it's passive, they're not going to wake up. So it's going to be like, if you wanted to like cheese the system and just go kill a bunch of zombies in a POI without having to actually fight them, set them to passive. They won't do anything. If you set them to attack, that's kind of, I think, similar to what those trigger rooms are now.
Yeah.
I think they have them set to attack, which means that like once you hit that trigger room box, essentially, they're all just gonna bum rush you, right? They're gonna like spawn in and bum rush. So you don't really want to do attack unless you're sadistic and you think that's fun. We always just do active.
Yeah.
Okay? Now the sleeper volume boxes themselves, all they really do is once you hit them, they spawn the zombies in. They're not necessarily awake until you get closer to them, like when you're playing the game.
Yeah.
Right? Like you can go to do a quest at a POI, right? And you go in and you see like 2 zombies sleeping in a corner and you can do like your stealthy attack.
Yep.
So all you've done is you've hit the sleeper volume box,
Brings them
which
in.
spawn them in, and now as you're playing the game the way you're playing it, that's when you'll interact with the zombies.
Yeah, that's why you can see them like pop in sometimes, because the sleeper volume box might not be
right.
quite right.
And see, I'm not an expert, and the Fun Pimps aren't experts, because I've been to POIs in Alpha 20 where there's legit no zombies whatsoever, and then all of a sudden it's like they're spawning in behind me, and it's because something is off with their sleeper volume box. That's basically what it comes down to. I don't know. Now here you'll see, like, pay attention to the yellow or the gold color, essentially. That means that those are already inside a sleeper volume box and they're essentially configured. Okay? That's what you want.
Air quotes and all.
Air quotes and all. Configured. I'm doing air quotes, guys. I'm sorry. Listen, I talk with my hands a lot. You don't see it, but that's what I do. No, but that's what you want to look for. So once you actually get your sleeper volumes completed, you can, if you have the sleeper x-ray checkmarked in the editor, as long as you see all gold, you're golden. That means they're all at least configured. Now, if your boxes are overlapping and all that kind of stuff, you won't really know that until you play test your POI, right? Like, we're going to do that with them all. So there's potential that, I might have forked something up somewhere.
We'll have to adjust stuff.
Yeah.
For sure.
But you know what I mean? Like, we do our best to try to make sure that we haven't completely borked the whole system. Although, we've done this for 2 alphas now. This is our 3rd. And I haven't heard any, like, serious complaints from people about, like, oh my god. Except for, there are times where people will be going through the mall and, like, they go back down to the first floor and they're like, oh my god, the zombies are back. But listen, that's just zombie respawn time based off of the fact that this mall is humongous.
Yeah, it might be.
You know what I mean? If it takes you a while to get to, the 3rd floor and a whole in-game day has passed, those zombies
could respawn.
Really could respawn.
I haven't looked into it because I don't really care.
No.
I just let it happen.
Yeah,
more zombies to kill.
Yeah. I mean, it's more zombies to kill, but you know what I mean? Nothing is exact. This is not an exact science. The game is not optimized. I mean, like I said, you can go into POIs now that the Fun Pimps themselves created.
And they do the same thing.
And, they have issues, and they're borked, and there's lag, and everything else. One other thing to think about is if you're doing, like, a smaller POI, like, I don't know, a cabin or a house, don't place 100 zombies in it because you're going to lag real bad, and it's going to be very tricky to create sleeper volumes. Like, because you can't take 100 zombies and put them into one sleeper volume box. Like, you can't make your life that easy, right? If I could, it would be great if I could only do 2 sleeper volume boxes on one level, but I can't because there's too many zombies that have to be included. Yeah.
It'd be a pain in the butt.
It would be a serious pain in the butt. But yeah, basically you can place anything as a sleeper. Apparently you can do chickens now, which is super great. But you do chickens, you can do boars, you can do wolves. I don't think there's any mountain lions.
No, there's no mountain lions.
Or cougars, or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
Bears, all that kind of fun stuff. You just want to make sure that eventually they turn into gold. Because if they're gold, that means that they've been sufficiently included in your sleeper volumes. One other thing that I have not talked about yet is when you go in right here to configure and, set your preset of how many zombies that you want, over on the right hand side, you'll see where it says, like, group generic zombie. So, like, if you were building a cop shop or something, right? And you wanted cops, like, you could create a sleeper volume that just has cops in it. Right. You can adjust that and change it. It'll say, like, I think there's, like, special ones.
Yeah, it can come in handy.
It can come in handy. I don't do that for them all just because we don't have any areas where that's necessary.
Yeah.
Like, the cop shop would be the only one, but I'm not going to do one singular sleeper volume for that because it's so tiny. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we don't do that, but it's a possibility. You are able to put in, special zombies or whatever the heck you want, really.
Yep. So
I think at one point I actually had construction workers up on the roof, like in one of the alphas.
Yeah,
but
it's possible.
Yeah, now I just do group generic because that'll essentially bring in any type of zombies, and obviously based on game stage and stuff, that's when you'll get ferals and all that.
Yeah.
But I think that is it.
So long story short, this is how we do it. It might not be the exact way you're supposed to or whatever, but it works for us.
Works for us.
There you go.
We've been pretty successful.
Yep.
If I left anything out and you want to know more, leave a comment.
Yep.
We'll see you in the finale.
Bye.
Bye.